Hey friends, yes, I am smiling because this week we have a marvelous hops variety, the most beautiful plants, one of the most beautiful farms I've ever seen. Back to the heart of hops and beer in the world, Hallertau, Germany. And this week's tip number 129, Max Raphael here from Hops World, Hallertau Blanc. Let's do it. So, Hallertau Blanc. It's an aromatic hops variety, and the International Hops Growers Conference has the code of HBC. It was originally known as number 2007/19/8. The Hallertau Blanc was bred really to meet the demands of the new craft beer industry and market, and its love for these fruity, hop-forward flavors and styles in the American ales, and using a Cascade female crossed with their own male as parents. The breeders created this wonderful and unique hops variety. It was created at the Hops Research Center Hall in Hallertau, Germany. They have a long history of hop breeding and creating marvelous hops varieties, and definitely one of the top 2 or 3 breeding programs in the world. But after years of testing and trials, this variety was finally made public in 2012. Well, it does have plant protection rights in Europe, so unfortunately, the whole world cannot get Hallertau Blanc to grow in their hop garden. But in order to meet its full, let's say, potential, you really want to use this hops at the end of the boil, or better yet, even a dry hop. This hops has the most unique flavors, has super high myrcene levels up to 70%, and it's almost always used very at the end of the boil to add them super aromatic flavors that you're looking in your ales and your IPAs. Hallertau Blanc has very strong citricy, tropical fruit flavors, green fruits. I've heard many different descriptions of grapefruit, gooseberry, pineapple, lemongrass, and even passion fruit being noted. But Hallertau Blanc's uniqueness is really attributed to its aromas and flavors of white grapes and even white wine. Has aromas and flavors that they consider very like Sauvignon Blanc wine. If you're a wine drinker, you know what I mean. And it's actually most compared to one of the most expensive hops in the world, Nelson Sauvin, and all the New England hops varieties. Although it doesn't have quite that dankness, it's a definitely clean, more clean aroma when used to make beer. So let's talk about the chemicals of Hallertau Blanc. With alpha acids from 9 to 12%, it does have a little bit of bitterness, but like I said, it's almost always used at the end of the boil, or better yet, even in a dry hop. Beta acids 4.5 to 5.5%, oils from 1.2 to 2.2 milliliters per 100 grams. But what's really notable, the myrcene levels from 60 up to 70 or 75%. But bam! And flavors, very strong citric, tropical fruit, green fruits, apple, grapefruit, gooseberry, pineapple, lemongrass, passion fruit, and of course the white grapes and that winey flavor. Substitutes, well, there's really only one, and it's Nelson Sauvin, but more, it's in reverse. If you're looking for a substitute for Nelson Sauvin, many people use Hallertau Blanc, because Nelson Sauvin is harder to find and it's more expensive. And what kind of beers can you make with this hop? Well, I've seen hoppy pilsners, ales, especially Belgian ales, wheat beers, American pale ales, and IPAs, of course. Production. I've seen publications from 1,000 to 1,400 pounds per acre. Now, I know, looking at these plants, my friend in Germany is getting way more than 1,400 pounds per acre. You decide and let me know what you think in the comments, how much he's getting per acre. As far as typical spacing, there in Germany, they do 12-foot rows and anywhere from 3 to 4.5 feet between plants, depending on which farm. Bam. So, enough talking about Hallertau Blanc. Let's go to the hop field that I visited September 2022 in Hallertau, Germany, to look at some of the most beautiful plants you've ever seen. Hey friends, so here I am again in Hallertau, Germany, in a hops field of Hallertau Blanc. Hallertau Blanc is a relatively newer variety, and it's a Roma variety. The cones aren't so large as some of the other varieties here, like Hercules or Polaris, but there are some big ones at the top. They are very compact, easy pickable, and super aromas for an aromatic hop. Beautiful Hallertau Blanc. Let's show you the plant from the ground all the way up to the wire. These are some of the prettiest plants I've seen here in Germany on definitely the most beautiful farm and most beautiful hop yard that I've ever seen. So let's do it. So here we are at the ground level, Hallertau Blanc. A Blanc means white, actually. If you didn't know, you can see the vines are not that thick as some of the other varieties. And the cones are very compact, beautiful cones. They start pretty much about 3-4 feet off the ground. And when you get up to the top, look at this plant next to ours. Wow. They're already harvested half of the V trellis here. These are beautiful, beautiful plants. Very green, especially this year. It was very dry. Hallertau Blanc. These guys know how to grow hops. 250 years they've been growing hops on this farm. This farm is 600 years old. Wow. Hallertau Blanc. Beautiful. Bam. And before we go this week, I need to thank my friend Stefan Stagelmeyer for allowing me to visit his hops farm for 2 days during harvest in the heart of Hallertau. And you talk about a beautiful farm, folks, I'm talking the Disney of hops farms. Seriously, a 600-year-old historic farm, 250 years growing hops. I mean, when you arrive at a hops farm and they have white peacocks wandering around, wow. But the highlight of my trip was definitely the time I spent out in the hops field with the hops. Tour. No, I didn't take a bicycle. I took the tractor, of course. And the most beautiful hops you've ever seen. Many were already picked, but many were yet to be harvested. I spent over 2 days out there with the hops, touching, feeling, smelling, enjoying these hops and this beautiful hops farm. And at the end of the day, we did some sensory evaluations. I got to stick my nose right into a bale of fresh picked hops. But bam! And of course, we had to do some sensory testing on some beer made with Stefan's hops. Thank you so much, Stefan. Thank you, Hallertau. And thank you, Germany, and all of the German people for such hospitality and love. Cheers to life. Cheers to Hallertau. Cheers to hops. Well, what did you think, folks? Hallertau Blanc. And what did you think about that farm? We're definitely going to come back and visit the farm and give you some more details of their drying system and their processing system in the next video when we come back to this beautiful farm in Hallertau. Thanks for being with me this week. If you liked it, put a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to our channel, subscribe. Tell a friend and check out more all about hops. I appreciate it, friends. Cheers to life.